Oh hey, what's going on? Not much, you know, hanging. So you wanted locks, right? You want to start your locking journey? That's cool, man. That's cool. I think that's a great idea. How come? You don't know why, huh? You're not really sure? Okay. What we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna cover something that'll help you make that decision for yourself, because I do think it's a decision that's not just kind of a whimsical decision that you should be making. But that being said, it's not like it's like you're trying to pick what life insurance you need to get. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the most difficult decision. It's not the easiest decision, but I just want to make sure you're thinking about all the right reasons as to why you're making the decision to start your locking journey. So, for those of you that don't know, my name is Joseph Morrison, aka Kojo Locs. I'm coming to you live with another video. If you're not aware, this is a lock channel where we discuss lock content. So if you like that, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button on this video. It really helps out with my channel and I appreciate it. And definitely share it with a friend who might be wanting to start a locking journey or is considering starting a locking journey. And you know, you kind of want them to really think about if they really want to do it or not. So that's what I want to touch on today. You know, I think it's something that a lot of people get into, and maybe in the moment they think they want it, or they might see, like, I don't know, a rapper that has it and they just think it's a cool style. There's just many reasons why people want locks, and I think it's really important that people make the right decision. And you know, just like anything else in life, it's really important to make the right decision for yourself and really think about the full circle reasons as to why you're making any decision. And that's not just with locks, but that's with lifestyle habits, with the people that you have in your circle, significant other. Do you want kids? Do you want pets? Whatever the decision may be. So let's talk about it. All right, so you decided you want to get locks. Cool. Why? Why? That's the first question I would ask, and that's the first question you should ask yourself. Why do you want your locks? And really, really think about it. Because if it's just like you think it's cool for the moment, okay, that's cool. But you do understand that this locking journey, if you're doing it the traditional way, takes a while to even get the locks to be matured or to be in the way that you like them to be. So that means it's gonna take about a year or more for your locks to fully mature and look the way you want. Now, yes, there are instant locking methods that you can do. You can go and get locks, like lock extensions. And I'm not gonna knock that. If that's something you're interested in, it's easy breezy. You can do it in one day. You're good to go. This video isn't really for you. This is more for the traditional ones, and you know, if you're looking to start your locking journey, you really gotta know why. And what I mean by that more specifically is, are you doing it for a more spiritual reason, that you want it to kind of help to guide you in certain ways or teach you certain principles that you believe are going to be beneficial for yourself spiritually, mentally? Maybe you're somebody who's a little bit more holistic in your approach to life, so like nutrition, and you're going full circle with going with a more natural hairstyle. That's a great reason too that I've heard often. And look, there's nothing wrong with also wanting locks just because you think they look dope and you think it's a cool style, and that's it. You know, that's totally fine too. The main thing you want to think about with your why is really being confident in your why, really understanding deep down why you're doing it, whether it's for a quote-unquote deeper, more spiritual reason, or if it's just because you think it's a fly look. Either are fine. And for me, it's a little bit of both, right? I do think there are principles to starting a locking journey or having locks that really helps you to teach you deeper principles about yourself, gives you a little bit of a different perspective on life, about the people in your circle. It just adds another element to the way that you look at your life, and just the life lessons that you can learn. And also, I think they look dope. I just think it's a cool look. I like the swag. You know, I went with a high top set, which is, I guess, not your traditional type, right? But I did that because I thought it was cool looking, and ultimately, I'm good with that. You know, you have to find a why and be good with it. Really just feel confident about it no matter what anybody else tells you. If they think, oh, that's a stupid reason, or that's why you want locks, that doesn't matter. As long as you want them, that's all that matters. All right, so now that you have your why, sweet, you're solid, you're ready to go. Do you know what kind of locks you want? No, you're not sure? I mean, well, okay. Do you want a high top set? Do you want a full set of locks? Do you want to start your locking process with comb coils? Do you want to start your locking process with interlocks? Do you want to go with the curl sponge method? Do you want to go crochet hook? Like, there's a lot of, it's like, now that you're past your why, now you want to think about how you want your journey to start. How do you want your locks to look? What's a picture, or when you envision your locks in the end result, what does it look like? And then figuring out and backtracking what you need to do to kind of get to that point, right? To get to that vision of your locks. And maybe you're somebody who is going to go with a complete freeform method and you just want your locks to do what they're going to do. Well, that also goes into your vision. I mean, if that's your vision, well, you know that that's a freeform vision that you're just going to go and let the wind take you away, right? So really start to think about how you want your locks to look. And in that, think about the factors that are at play, like your hair texture, what starting methods are best for your hair texture, and again, just ultimately how you want your hair to look. So that's the next thing. Have a vision so that as you're working towards your goal and as you're going through your journey, you just know what they're gonna look like and you know what you're working towards, and not just kind of going through the process all flippant and not knowing what's happening, right? So have a vision, stick to it, have it in your mind. And if you have a loctician, show your loctician your vision, tell them your vision, get them to understand what you're after, so then you can now work on it in partnership together. Cool? Let's jump into reason number 3. So reason number 3 is one that a lot of people would say isn't really a reason, but I honestly think it is, and this is just from personal experience and from people that I know are also lockers who have had these experiences as well. And the next thing is just thinking about, what do you have to sacrifice? Now, anything you do in life, really you're sacrificing something to have that thing, right? That's just how life works. Now, with your locking journey, you know, you got to think about the fact that this is something that maybe not everybody is accepting of, or maybe not every career, or not every job I should say, is accepting of. So, you know, do you have to kind of think about your working environment and how they're going to perceive your hair? Do you have to think about friends and family and how they're going to perceive your hair? Not saying that if they perceive it negatively, you have to get rid of the locking journey, but you know, if you have a friend who's treating you different because you have locks now, or you want to get locks, or they're kind of judging you for it, well, maybe that's not a friend you need to have. If it's a career thing, I know that can be a little different. I never like to tell people, quit your job because locks matter more. That might not be realistic, right? And if you're somebody who has a bunch of kids, or if you're somebody who just has dependents or responsibilities, and your current income is a big portion of taking care of the bigger responsibilities, maybe now is not the time to get your locks. Or maybe it's time to have a conversation with your boss and see what they would say. Whatever the case may be, the point I'm trying to make is really start to think about what sacrifices you're gonna have to make in your life. And this isn't just personnel or people in your life, but thinking about the things that you're just gonna have to sacrifice in terms of, if you're somebody who doesn't like to sleep with a do-rag on your head or a bonnet on your head, well, maybe that's something you're gonna have to think about sacrificing. If you're somebody who washes your hair every single day and that's just been your routine, probably not going to be your routine anymore. So you're going to have to sacrifice that every single day wash. Little things like that, like really understanding what this journey encompasses in terms of the tasks and day-to-day things, and also in terms of the way that people are going to perceive your hair and how it's going to affect your livelihood, and checking off those boxes, you know, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and really making sure that you have a good understanding of what sacrifices you might have to make. That being said, maybe you don't have to make any sacrifices and this isn't a step that matters for you. But for most people, there's a couple things you might have to shift and adjust. So just start to think about what those things are and how you can do it effectively and go on in your journey, all right? So we know why we want our locks. We have a vision for how they're gonna look. We've considered all the sacrifices that we have to make. We're good. Next, we want to make sure that we understand and know the things that we're going to need for this locking journey. Now again, if you're somebody who's free-forming, you probably don't need much. You just need, well, pretty much nothing, to be honest. Pretty much nothing. You're good to go. So have a good day. But everyone else, you got to think about your moisturizing routine. You got to think about your oils. You got to think about your do-rag, your bonnet. You got to think about your silk and satin pillowcase. You got to think about all these different factors, maybe changing your shampoos, maybe not using a conditioner anymore. Do you want to get a crochet hook? Are you going to be using, it's, you know, there's a lot. Now, you don't have to be using all those things, but I would recommend looking into these things and seeing which ones you will use in your locking journey, which ones you're going to find effective, and just start to think about what things and materials you're going to have to gather in order to properly execute your journey. Because nothing sucks more than getting that fresh, you know, whether you went with comb quills or interlocks, getting that fresh start, you come home, And you're like, oh wait, hold up, I don't have a how am I gonna sleep tonight? I don't have a do-rag. Now you gotta sleep like this in a chair because you can't get your head on the pillow. You know what I mean? So you just wanna think ahead and make sure you have everything you need so that you're not caught in a position where you're like, oh crap, I needed this and I don't have it. And for the last and final thing that I want you to think about before you start your locking journey, before you jump into it, right? Get excited. Like, get excited, because this is something that, depending on if you want it to be a long-term thing or a short-term thing, which is totally up to you. Don't let people make you feel like, well, if you're not gonna have your locks for 16 years and have it going all the way down your back, you really shouldn't do this, son. Like, don't listen to that. If you wanna have your locks for 2 years and then cut them, it's up to you. If you wanna have them for 20 years and never cut them, it's up to you too. But you wanna definitely start to get excited about it. Like, this is gonna be a cool new journey that you're gonna embark on. And like, it's exciting, right? I mean, for me, you know, when I started my journey, I did tons of research. And once I was done and kind of went through all those stages, I got excited about it. And for me, I also used friends and family as accountability because everyone was excited for me. And it was my way of kind of, the more you say it to different people, the more you kind of have to be held accountable, because if you tell everybody and then 2 days later, you know, you cut your starter locks, you're gonna have to kind of go around and be like, yeah, I quit, I didn't want to do it, I just didn't have the willpower. Yeah, I'm weak, I'm a weak person.
Loser!
Yeah, I couldn't sustain it. Huh? Yeah, I have no, yeah, hardships really don't do well with me. So, you don't want to be that guy, right? So, you know, get excited about it. Tell some people that can hold you accountable if that's the kind of journey that you want to embark on. And like, yeah, sky's the limit after that, you know? And then you go on and you get your twists up, you get your locks done, and then it's off to the races. So, you know, I just wanted you all to think about a couple factors that I know I thought about and that helped me to kind of confidently start my locking journey, where as I began, I didn't feel like I was missing anything. There were no stones unturned. I didn't feel like there was things that I didn't think about or things that I needed but didn't have. Now, that being said, as the journey begins, there are going to be things that, you know, maybe you didn't think about before starting your locking journey and you wish you would have known. But that was actually the last video that I made. So go check that out if you want to see that. But ultimately, if you think about these 4 or 5 things that I just mentioned, you're pretty good to go. And it's going to be a fun ride. So have fun. And hey, feel free to comment. Let me know how your journey is going, or let me know if you have any questions before you start your journey, because I can definitely answer them. It's been really cool to reach out to some of you and communicate, give advice where I feel I have a little bit of information to give. So it's like, you know, I love the communication. I love the contextual discussions that we get to have. And yeah, feel free to comment down below and let's chit chat. And I want it to be a community-based conversation. Not just me telling you guys stuff and then you just comment on what I'm saying, but start your own conversations in the comments and I'll jump into your conversations. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. It really helps the channel, really helps to build my channel and helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Kojo Locs. Your boy signing out. Peace and love.